private sector, that combination is perfect, right? Because, not only do you get the money, but the advice and the enthusiasm, right? When you have the private sector that is just so happy and so excited because you give them the time. He meets with us every 2 weeks with one sector that's already set up, gives us the respect, gives us the schedule 1 year in advance of all the meetings. Where do you get that, right? So when you have that dual type of respect for each other, it excites people. In the president's belief in the private sector is very strong. The amount of money we need is quite a large sum for the country to build the infrastructure projects that we want between the roads, the ports, the airports. So we're going to need a lot of the funds to come into the agriculture, right? So we're going to need a lot of the funds and the expertise from countries around the world. Right? And so for us, the private sector, we can partner with the best in the world, right? To be able to solve problems and not band-aid, but to structurally change so that it works for the generations to come and not just for 3 months or 1 year. I think that's a major part of the president's thinking process, right? It's changed the structure. It's got to hurt a little bit so that the structure is changed for the long term. If it's easy, then the result is also easy, right? If it's hard, then the result is also more long term. And I think that's part of the excitement that we all have. It's doing things for the long term. Yeah, so again, like I always say, I think the Philippines is really going to be the next big thing in Asia. We are very excited to work with the government today because we see that they really appreciate, the private sector. I mean, digitalization, for example. The government cannot do digitalization alone. It needs the private sector, from the talent and the knowledge that we gain from all over the world, which is changing so fast. So yeah, that's my final message. I think that the private sector is very, very happy to work with this government.
Ang pag-attend ni Pres.Bbm dito sa Davos World Economic Forum ay napakahalaga because makakausap niya ang mga leaders ng industries, no? Napaka-importante na pag-usapan yung mga proyekto natin sa infrastruktura, no? Mag-invite tayo ng mga investors, no? And isa nga ito sa mga napag-usapan namin kagabi doon sa isang dinner, no? Na nandoon yung CEO ng mga big companies, not only in Asia but in Europe. Impressed sila, no? Especially yung kagabi makausap namin when we told them that our economy is growing at the rate of 6.5 to 7%. No? Me personally, I was able to share with Mr. Tony Blair, no, the projects of the Department of Transportation, no? And he was very interested in supporting especially the railway projects of the government. No? And sabi nga nila, it's a very good performance, no? And they hope that we will continue that good performance of the country. After ng WEF, no, we are expecting that we will be able to implement the programs of the department, no? Not only to help the Filipinos to have very good transport experience, but also to attract mga tourists natin, no? Pagbubutihin namin na yung transport sector ay one that we can be proud of, no? For the good of the passengers and for the good of tourists that will visit the Philippines, no?
Galing po ako sa dialogue kahapon at masasabi ko na marami pong nagiging interested, marami pong interesado sa Pilipinas at syempre po sa Wealth Fund dahil ito ay isang pondo na nakikita nila na magagamit natin para lalong bumilis ang development ng ating bansa. And of course, as investors, gusto rin nila makita na active tayo sa infrastructure at sa mga products or funds that can help the government. Ito pong wealth fund nakaka-generate ng income. So hindi po ito cost, ito po ay isang investment At meron po tayong mga assets na nakaka-generate din ng government na income, pero hindi na ma-maximize yung income. So, through the wealth fund, magkakaroon ng additional income and fiscally mag-improve yung fiscal situation ng ating bansa. At syempre po, magkagandahan po ng wealth fund, naka-allocate po yung income ng wealth fund para sa benefit ng ating mga kababayan. So, for social projects na makakatulong sa mga mahihirap. So, lahat po mag-benefit at makaka-generate ng wealth or ng income para sa Pilipinas. Asahan nyo po na lalong dadami po ang investment sa ating bansa. Walang tigil po ang pagtatrabaho ni President Bongbong Marcos dito sa Davos at sunod-sunod po yung mga meetings niya para magkaroon po ng additional investment sa ating bansa. At pag nagkaroon po ng additional investment, syempre po dadami po ang opportunities sa ating bansa, dadami po yung job opportunities sa ating bansa at lalong asenso ang ating ekonomiya.
Ang tinatawag namin na sovereign wealth fund, napaka-ordinary yan for other countries na dyan nila pinubuhay yung kanilang long-term investment. Usually, pinagagalingan yan yung mga, say, kung meron kang sobras, yung, for example, some countries, meron silang oil reserves, no, na pinibenta nila. But yung mga ganong klase is exhaustible yun eh. So dapat siguro sinusubi mo yun for future generation. So yun ang purpose nun. In our case, for example, nagkaroon tayo ng malampayan, no? Dapat kumita yun ng mga around $20 billion. Sana kung ginamit natin yun as part of the sovereign wealth fund, siguro mapapakinabangan yan not only by this generation but future generation. So, pinaplano namin na mag-umpisa tayo magkaroon ng sovereign fund katulad ng ibang bansa. Ang panggagalingan yan ay, for example, may mga corporation tayo na nag-declare ng dividend every year. Siguro part of that, ilagay natin doon, di ba? For example, the central bank, nag-declare yan ng mga 20 to 30 billion pesos dividend every year. Ilagay natin part of that doon sa sovereign investment fund na tinatawag. And yung mga ibang corporation, ganun, Pagcor, ganun. So, tapos, ngayon, binuksan natin ang mining. Kasi for the last several years, sinarado natin ang mining and for environmental purposes. Binuksan natin. So, siguro kikitain natin doon. Kasi yung exhaustible resource din yun, binibinan natin yung nasa. Ilagay natin doon para naman mapakinabangan ng future generation. Para mapakinabang yan. Kasi marami tayong proyekto na nangangailangan ng funding, infrastructure projects. Pinanghihiram pa natin ng pera yun eh, from Japan, China, IMF, World Bank, ADB. Kaya ngayon kung meron tayong ganang fund, pwede natin gamitin yun para mapunduhan yun ang purpose nun. So there are many projects, pero talagang very important projects, priority projects. So ang nire-require namin, bago ka pumunta sa isang project, kailangan ma-aprobahan ng NEDA, no? So merong prior approval ng NEDA. Yung NEDA may mga requirements yun na dapat talaga profitable, tsaka it's good for the economy. Mga ganun. So you roll out yung mga tinatawag na white elephant projects. So yung parang kung halimbawa sa household yan, hindi ka lang nakatutok dun sa anong gagastusin ko this year or next year. Kundi talaga long term. So na-appreciate nila yun na maiisip natin na mag-i-invest tayo for the future. Ako, ang natutuwa na on the first year of the president ay masikasik siyang binibenta niya yung Pilipinas na. And this is the biggest audience na. And in fact, in this particular meeting, siguro later on, magkakaroon ng session for the Philippines only. Lagi ko sinasabi na this is our moment. Talagang we have a nice story to tell and it's just a matter of implementation para gumanda talaga ang buhay ng Pilipinas at mga Pilipino.